Boom, baby, we're live. Welcome to Tokyo Crypto Show Season 2, Episode 156. Solana to $1,000 and Ethereum to $0. Is that going to happen? Probably not the zero part. However, before we get going, let me tell you something about being on Solana. It's great, okay? Free money for everybody who's watching the show right now. Okay, stop what you're doing. Jupiter is actually doing an airdrop. So if you have used Jupiter in the last 3 months on a wallet, on a Solana wallet, okay, click on this link right here, link your wallet and check your airdrops right there. I just checked my airdrops. I got $850 for free. I've been using Jupiter since the beginning of this bull run. Jupiter is a decentralized exchange where they allow you to get all of your coins without the hassle of going through a centralized exchange. If you've been paying attention to Binance and Coinbase this week, you know that they've had a lot of trouble. We're going to go into that so much more and why this is actually extremely bullish for Solana and why Ethereum still does have a large percentage of the market share. I truly believe it is only a matter of time before Solana flips Ethereum. And, you know, I will say, so, okay, see right here, Moreno, you bought into the PSYOP. There was no network congestion issue. That's what Coinbase was saying. But there was no network congestion issues this week. No, you see, you fell for the PSYOP, but we're here to un-PSYOP you. All right. Guys, I'm telling you right now, the future is bright when it comes down to Solana. They're going to take the crown without a doubt. I'm joined by a big team here. The big team, the big four is on the floor here. James is out, but we are in. James is getting some physical therapy done for his back. So thoughts, prayers, you know, send some crypto into a black hole for him. Guys, how you doing today?
Pretty fucking good. I'm here wearing my fucking green corduroy hat that I won at trivia last night, just to let you all know you're in the presence of winners.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. And this last week, we have just been winning. Fucking hell.
W. Speaking of W, look at that. Another winner's in the house. Stock Market Steve.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Fresh off the ass meeting I gave him on Monday. Steve, how's your head doing?
Doing fine. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. Me and Steve went to kickboxing in Tokyo on Monday. It was a good time. Lewis, are you sick, buddy? You not feeling well?
Yeah. My AC went out in my Airbnb and got like 3 hours of sleep. So
that sucks.
In the trenches, baby. In the trenches. Siege D 199 super chat. Hey MLD, when is Body Language Mastery 5.0? I have no idea. I am still trying to figure out what I'm doing tomorrow. Okay. Guys, listen, we have a big show to you guys today. This is going to be a very, very value-driven show. The name of the game is Solana, boys. The name of the game is Solana. Solana is the altcoin of this bull run. Do we agree unanimously across the board here? Solana is the
2025 is here. In case you're not familiar,
somebody's playing something. Show of hands. Is Solana the altcoin of this run? Right? I think we can unanimously say 2021. Lou, you're a veteran, right? What would you say? 2021, what was the altcoin of the year?
Doge.
Oh, you're fired. Okay. No, you failed. You're fired. Okay. This is going to be like this game shows. All right, you failed. We're going to pass it on to the next.
The best performing coin in 2021. What are you talking about?
Adam, what was the best altcoin overall in 2021?
Altcoin?
Yeah.
Altcoin. Meme coin?
No, not meme coin. Altcoin.
Altcoin.
Don't mid curve it, bro. It's simple.
Solana, probably.
Oh my God, you guys are fucking retarded.
I want to know what he got.
Alex, for all the marbles.
From a risk reward perspective, it was probably Ethereum, but like
Ethereum.
Ethereum.
Everything was DeFi. Everybody was building on Ethereum. Everything was DeFi. Everything was staking. Everything was NFTs. You know, if you wanted an NFT, you had to buy Ethereum. You know, if you wanted to build anything, you had to buy Ethereum. Ethereum was the altcoin of 2021. Now, this year, 2023, 2024, 2025, it is the year Solana. There are no ands, ifs, or buts about that. And we're going to talk to you guys about so much news. We have so much news. Like, a couple things real quick before we get going, right? Be sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button because we are bringing you the hottest hot here on the Tokyo Crypto Show. And I am proud to announce that because of the crushing demand that we have heard from everybody and from the amount of data that we're just getting every single week, I am proud to say that we are actually introducing a new show here on the Modern Life Dating channel. Okay. And this show is going to be called right here. It is called the Crypto Minute. All right. So what the Crypto Minute is going to be, anytime breaking news hits our desk, we're going to go live and we are going to talk about it within 10 to 20, maybe even 30 minutes. The episodes might go long depending on the strength and power of the news. Okay. This is going to be only done in 2025. Okay, because we're going to make sure that you guys get all of the news as soon as the opportunity hits the desk, because there's so much money to be made right now. We're going to be talking about all these things because, for example, the generational play of a lifetime was the Donald Trump meme coin. Let's go ahead and start about that. The Donald Trump meme coin was some wild thing to be seen because the amount of people that made so much money with that meme coin was amazing. I think it was the fastest running meme coin in history. What did it top out at, guys? Do you guys remember?
40 something.
I thought it went over 70.
Yeah.
70 billion was about where it topped out at. $70 billion. And that happened in a span of about 24 hours.
Let's have a look. Market.
So there were, I mean, you missed
$15 billion, $70 like price.
So 50 billion.
15 billion in like less than 24 hours.
Yeah. So I mean, so much money was to be made. I unfortunately missed that. I woke up, I was a little under the weather, and I had to go to the dentist right after, and I was high on laughing gas in the chair reading this shit. I'm like, God damn, this laughing gas is fucking lit. Did fucking Trump just launch a meme coin? Like, and I thought at first we all thought it was a hack, and I didn't have my senses about me because I was getting my teeth drilled and stuff. As you can see, my veneers, I got the top level taken off because I'm redoing them. We were doing intensive cleaning. We had to do the drilling last week, and I was just in a world of pain and pleasure at the same time, and I missed out on that opportunity. So we have this show. We're going to be launching it, and most likely next week we will be breaking out a very, very, very big important news for all you guys that are interested in really learning crypto and really locking in for 2025, no longer sitting on the sidelines, but actually out here getting this digital paper. So stay tuned for that announcement because it's going to be a big one. So yeah, I mean, today we're going to talk about Solana versus Ethereum, and Solana is just the name of the game. Donald Trump launched his meme coin on, we're going to start with that. Donald Trump launched his meme coin on the Solana network. He did not launch it on Ethereum. He did not launch it on any other chain. And he essentially let 1 billion plus people know on the planet what Solana is. He brought some attention to it, as well as billions and billions of dollars flowing in. He did drop the ball. I think him and his team, whatever, because right after that, they dropped the Mania token, which was the big fat L. That was just really stupid, in my opinion. But here we are. So, guys, thoughts on the Donald Trump meme coin before we get going? Then Alex will be right up with us on the charts and give us a health check on the market. But real quick, thoughts on the Solana meme coin with Trump dropping that, guys?
It was amazing, even though I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the it was really sudden. As far as I know, there was no like build up or anything to it. He just tweeted like, "Oh, here's my meme coin, buy it," and everyone just like aped the fuck in without thinking anything about it. And yeah, a couple of millionaires were born in the span of a night. I mean, it was kind of an obvious play in hindsight, given that he was getting sworn in 2 days later. But at the same time, I don't think anyone could have predicted that he would be the one to actually make it. Like, a Trump coin was a given, but not the fact that he was going to make it.
Yeah.
And just like launch it just like that without any like previous marketing. It was genius, but way too unpredictable. Like, anyone who was awake I was asleep when it all happened, but anyone who was awake probably made some life-changing money.
Yeah. You know, the amount of money you could have made. What was the floor price? What did it launch at?
5 minutes.
Do we know what price it actually launched at when it hit the market? When I checked it, it was $8, and I was just like, "Yikes, man!" Hype. It was just like too wild, too high for me. And then it went to $70. I was like, "Okay, just turn that laughing gas all the way up and kill me."
But some things here are like 18 cents on Dex Screener for like a couple of minutes.
Oh wow!
So an hour in, it was already at in the 20s, $20.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, you had to be there.
Like a sniper, you probably were like between $1 and $10. You could have gotten it like manually, at least.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, man. Just let you know that there's like so much free money out there. Another opportunity will come, but honestly, I think that was literally the opportunity of a lifetime. Shout out to anybody who did get it. You guys are probably sitting pretty. But hey, it is what it is. So let's just jump right into the game. Let's just jump right into it. Shout out to everybody watching me on Rumble. If you're not watching me on Rumble, go ahead and Modern Life Dating on Rumble, all one word, as we get ready to rock and roll moving forward in 2025. We're locked in, and we're going to be printing all this money out for you boys. So don't forget, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Send your super chats for quick questions answered immediately on the show today. And let's go to Alex. Alex, what I'd like you to do, if you could do me a favor, just let's do Bitcoin first. Take your time on Solana, and then just let's take a look at ETH BTC, if you can, please, sir.
Beautiful. And then afterwards, I do have a quick little PSA that's quite important for everyone. So let's jump right in. Bitcoin, whoop, looking pretty fantastic. We keep closing above 97.5 and 102,000. So those are two really, really high levels that we want to keep seeing. I said last week, we want to see the end of the month be over 102,000 and like 400. So at the moment, we haven't yet closed higher than we did on the 9th of December. So that's something to keep in mind. But we have actually made a new all-time high this week. It sort of happened amongst all the mania going on in the wider market, like around the Trump coin and Solana and everything, that really no one even kind of noticed. It just sort of, oh, whatever, new all-time high, which I find quite encouraging. If a new all-time high is really not big news for Bitcoin, people are just like, okay. So if that's not enough to get people excited, then we can probably start to get a little bit more excited about some positive price action. We were wondering if we're going to have to wait for the end of February for some sort of like weekly cycle low. But given we've made a new all-time high, it's vastly more likely that we're going to go sideways to up in the short term. So we're kind of, all's good. We keep closing higher. We had a big drop down. This was the other week where we went, oh my God, it's going to go lower. It did not. So we're looking pretty fucking good. I guess I can get rid of this now because we've made a new high. So on the daily, This is once again just showing like here's the highest price, but we still haven't made a higher close. So freaking close. It was like $100 difference. So, you know, it's good. We've made another attempt at here. We've come down for a retest. We'll probably find support here, nice and easy. So I think we can look forward to some good price action coming in the coming months. And if Bitcoin goes up, everything else will go up. Life's good. I would say that this probably is sort of our 60-day and weekly cycle low. So that means we have another like sort of 19 to 24 weeks of like general upness ahead of us, and that would take us all the way. Let's do some maths. So if we were to pull from over here, or actually it was all the way back here, but let's just, you know, for argument's sake, come all the way 18 somewhat rather. So we're looking at sort of the May time frame, May to June, would be what this would generally suggest a top area would be. That does coincide with like 2021 and many other times where we have sort of this sell in May and go away. That's sort of a general market phrase that's used in TradFi a lot. And as the traditional markets sort of get their claws into crypto a lot more with the ETFs and everything, we can expect the market behavior to start to mirror TradFi a lot more. So crypto's always been sort of a 24-hour market trading around the clock. With the ETFs, we'll start to see far more stuff happen during the day. And then at 5 o'clock, you know, all the stock traders go home and everything will chill out a little bit more. That sort of stuff. So sell and may go away could very much deliver us our initial top. I'll just bring up something quickly here as well. If we go to sharing and stop. Let's go here. John, if you will please. I'm just sharing some pictures.
Stuff in the back end here. Here you go. Go ahead, buddy.
Sorry. Some stuff that we had in the chat just coming through. So some people talking about how, maybe we'll get a top in March, come down, and then we get a top at the end of the year. This is sort of something that we've been thinking about for quite a while now, actually. This sort of one top, two tops. We had a similar thing in 2021, except they sort of double topped in the same zone. So this was, you know, someone's idea of, well, maybe we get to 120, 150, come down here. Now, this is all just, you know, hashtag not financial advice, but this is a general structure that would sort of go in what we've been thinking about. A different one that's somewhat similar is we come up.
Just zoom in a little bit more. A lot more, actually.
Let's make this, warm, if that's a bit better.
Just another one. A little bit more. Get rid of that blank left section. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much.
All good. So this is a similar sort of one we come up. So they've just said, you know, 130, 140. This kind of checks out. I mean, if we recall all the way back in sort of early December, I said, I'm not going to, you know, think bull market over unless at this stage in the cycle we get, you know, the 135 region. So we didn't get that. So I'm sitting there going, cool, we can just sort of sail smoothly now. So if we do get up there for a weekly cycle, because the lines kind of, as we move out, the price targets increase. A 135 kind of area would be a logical spot for us to kind of trim for some sort of drop, like a weekly cycle drop, and then we get back in for the last hurrah with a bit of stuff. But this is kind of, I mean, between this and the other screenshot, two people with two different scenarios. They got two different price targets, but essentially it's the same sort of thing where we're looking for a high somewhere in the, you know, April to June time frame. I mean, that's quite a while, so we'll see, you know, we'll keep shooting in each week and we'll see how we're going as we get close to that. And then the final top at the end of the year. So with the Trump meme coin coming out, I was like, oh God, are we going to go absolutely ridiculous right now and just like blow our load early and there's the bull market over? I enjoyed seeing that Donald Trump did not sort of talk about crypto in his first days. He still hasn't kind of come out and said, we're doing a crypto reserve. Here are the crypto, you know, related executive orders, this, that, and the other. He's kept it pretty chill. So that's good because I am interested in sustainability now because all the markers have turned positive. It looks like we're in a new weekly cycle. Nothing has happened to tell us that there's a tops happened yet. And so I just want time to pass now because the longer time that passes without us going absolutely ridiculous, the higher the price targets at the end of the year become. So the longer this takes, the better. That said, though, I would caution against people. A lot of people have been out there going, oh, my God, SUPERCYCLE is brewing. So I've been hearing and seeing some people assigning arbitrary targets, being like, oh, you know, there's definitely a 50% chance of a super cycle. I'm like, you just pulled that number out of your rectum. Like, what are you talking about? This time should be absolutely no different. So just caution. I do have something after we finish going through the charts as well, just to reiterate that point. So Bitcoin, new weekly cycle, we're expecting sideways to up in the coming months. Life's good. That's basically the crypto update for Bitcoin. Solana, a delicious 30% increase currently, but overall it was like over like a 45% kind of increase in a week, which we always love to see. So in fact, we can just sort of do the click. So we've got a 75% candle in the week. Of course, we've come down. Now, important thing, we made a new all-time high like Bitcoin, but we have not made a new all-time high close on the weekly. So we might still have a little bit of sideways or chop to go, but this is still hanging out high in the range or above the 50% point of this candle, you know, high and inside. Okay, all's looking good on Solana. With Solana Ethereum, once again, we've made new all-time highs on the ratio. So for everyone who swapped, you know, even all the way back in November where Solana was peaking made a new all-time high this week, you're now, you know, up again. So that's good. I expect Solana to continue to outpace Ethereum. A lot of people have been saying, oh, well, you know, we might be at a low, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, we might be at a low now. And that has sort of been the catch cry of everyone holding Ethereum for the last 12 months. Oh, this is the low. And it's come up and then it's made a new low. And oh, this is the low. And it's done that about 8 times now. And there are people saying, oh, it's a psyop so that, you know, the big people can get in on Ethereum before it just absolutely goes crazy. And maybe that is the case, but that's not what's reflected in the chart. And so if you're thinking there's some conspiracy going on, then I hope you have some insider information that no one else is privy to, because the chart is sort of the market's best guess. So if I bring up Ethereum, Bitcoin here, maybe it doesn't like the slash. With the power of the internet. So
that, yeah, I'm sure it's going to turn around any day now.
Yeah, it's just like, and this is the weekly. It's just So we had, oh, this is the low, and then oh, here we go. No, you know, here it is. Oh no, here it is. Oh no. So we're just going to keep grinding. Like we've been saying, if it's not running against Bitcoin, it's not making more money than Bitcoin, then be in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, the whole crypto narrative is really a Bitcoin narrative. And
yes,
we've got all these other offshoots, memes, and we've got DeFi and GameFi and all this shit. But the main thing has always been Bitcoin. So if you're not getting more than what you would get otherwise in Bitcoin, you're just taking risk for literally less return. It's just, it doesn't really make much sense. So I am more than willing to like take the position that Ethereum will make money this market, but I don't believe it will, you know, really perform that well versus Bitcoin. Maybe at the end of the market, it might start outperforming and we see a tick up here, but sort of, I just think in the meantime, there's no guarantee that we're going to not continue rising. I mean, the volume isn't even, we've got a bit more in here, I guess, but we had more volume here on this low and it just kept coming down. So, you know, ride your winners, cut your losers. We've been saying, you know, most of us have all moved out of Ethereum months ago by this stage. So, and that's not because we don't like Ethereum. It's not because Ethereum doesn't have like really, really good shit going on it. It's got a lot of problems with the foundation and all this, that, and the other. But the technology is really quite remarkable and really quite usable. The fees are pretty shit when everyone starts using it, but there's a lot good about it. It's just that no one seems to give a shit because the price keeps going down. So, you know, Ethereum with its not much inflation is fucking around at $4,000. Whereas Solana, with quite significant inflation, has already been making new all-time highs. Like Ethereum now should already be above $5,000, and it just isn't. 3,200. So, you know, not good. John, you wanted to jump in?
No, I was just gonna add on to what you said. I mean, are you good there, brother? You good, brother?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is this too. Going back to earlier when we mentioned with Donald Trump. So the thing about Donald Trump is he launched his meme coin on Solana, okay? And in order to buy his meme coin, you need to have Solana. So many people were buying Solana that it actually did a cascade of events. One, the most important thing, like I said, going back to Alex, you could just remove that that thing from the backstage there. The most important thing in crypto is price action. All right, you can have the best tech, you can have the best crypto in the world, but if the price isn't moving, nobody cares, guys. I don't care how many transactions per second you're doing. I don't care about anything. All right. The bottom line is if you are not having positive price action with your project, nobody cares about you at all. It is a joke. Okay. Now this caused a slew of problems across the board. Okay. A couple of them is, I mean, I'm going to go into a little bit of detail here real quick. So, real quick, this is tied to the Solana, and then I'm gonna touch on Bitcoin real quick. So first things first, Coinbase and Binance ran out of Solana, which is extremely bullish. Okay, you can see here Coinbase had a 2-hour plus wait for SOL deposits and withdrawals. Now, if you were using Solana, you know it is the fastest cryptocurrency and most used cryptocurrency chain in the world. You could add up all the other transactions from all of the cryptos in the world, and it still absolutely does 99% higher than all of them. All right. Now, Binance and Coinbase had to freeze the systems regarding Solana, which people were livid about. And it was just a very, very bad look. And then on top of that, Kraken was taking shots. Kraken is a reliable cryptocurrency exchange. And here's Solana choking, dying. High five, network congestion. That's what they're saying. They're saying, oh, there was network congestion. When the reality is there was not network congestion. It was the fact that Coinbase was very, very ill prepared for this. And honestly, a very big stain of embarrassment on them. Kraken, again, taking shots, waiting days for withdrawal. That's not love. That's a hostage situation. The choice is yours. Kraken is obviously symbolized here as the purple pill, and then the blue pill is Coinbase. And then again here, Coinbase reportedly out of Solana as users are unable to withdraw. Very, very, very bad for those companies. And this is why you should always self-custody. Okay. My mom was holding a large 5-figure amount of Solana on her wallet, and I had to get her off of that months ago, telling her, the truth about crypto, and I should never keep it on exchange. She was not affected by this, but millions and millions of people were. It's just really bad, very, very bad look. Good for Solana because it shows that the demand is there, but there was no network congestion. There was no moment where the network crashed. The network did have massive congestion in March of 2024. But they upgraded that. And now, in addition to that, they already have some validators set up on the Fire Dancer protocol. That is the newest update to Solana, which is allowing for 1 million transactions per second, theoretical max. Okay. So they're continuing to scale up Solana and make it a bigger and better token, which has more use case, because if it doesn't work or the fees are high or the price is low, then you have Ethereum. Right. And then that's what people just don't want to be involved with. Real quick, the most important metric. I want to poll the chat right now. What is the most important thing to monitor on a Monday to Friday basis here in this current bull market? I'm going to put quick seconds on the clock. Go ahead. I'll give you guys 10 seconds. Write it in the chat right now. What is the most important thing to monitor on a daily basis, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.? What is the most important metric to check on a daily basis if you're involved in cryptocurrency? Go ahead, type it in the chat right now. Let's see. So far, the chat has not replied. One insider has wrote he knows the answer because he works directly with us. Anybody else? Anybody who's right there? Mr. Nautical, correct. The ETF inflows, that is correct. Okay, if you are not tracking the ETF inflows, see, A Moreno, you got psyoped and you dropped the wrong information. You 2 in a row. There was no network congestion, and there's no congestion, and there is no total market cap as the most important metric. No, most important metric is the inflows. Taking a look at real quick right here. So this is what we had. When everybody thought the bull market, excuse me, when everybody thought the bull market was over, that's because the ETFs were dumping off $500 million here, 150 million here, $250 million here, $1/5 billion here, and then running up into the inauguration, 755 mil in, 626 mil in, 1 billion in. This is the third largest day and the largest day in 2025 with 1 billion plus. And then yes, the 21st, which was 800 million. So tracking that, you need to see exactly what's going on. The Ethereum inflows were only 74 million. So you can see there's a very, very big disparity there between these. Look, these are the inflows. Look, the lowest day of inflows was 626 million. And then here, ETH A is by, this is the one you got to keep an eye on, ETH A and FETH. This is Fidelity, and this is BlackRock. $75 million on the inflows. Okay. So if you're not tracking these inflows, you're in for a whole world of hate and a world of pain. So far, the inflows for today have been starting to pile in. Grayscale with 48 million selling. Bitwise with 35 million selling. Art Capital 13 million selling. Still waiting on the rest of the data. Have not been reported in yet, but again, HODL15CAPITAL, you can check this on a daily basis. Another thing is this is one taught to me by my good friend here on the panel, Lou. Crypto Elite taught me about something really cool. This indicator here, if you guys are not following the CBBI.info, this is the confidence rate at the peak right now. This is a combination of multiple indicators here, a pi cycle top indicator, and all of these here. This lets you track the overall potential point that we are at the top. So here we had a 99 confidence that with the top that was on March 15th. Remember the day Bitcoin hit the all-time high was on March 14th, right? The rainbow here indicates the price of Bitcoin, and then you can see it's trending up. It's been trending up slowly. This was like right after the election, right around here. Excuse me. Let's go to, actually, let's just turn this to, let's just go back to 24. Let's go 24. 2 seconds, boys. Sweet. Okay. So this is us from the first of last year to where we are right now. So about a year, as you can see, the indicator is this blue line here, and then the price is here at the bottom. Okay. So we are heading upwards. As you can see, the price, we had some sideways action going from the top when we had that new all-time high March 14th and getting around 73,000 Bitcoin here. And then confidence was 82. And then we kind of, had this terrible sideways action for about 6 months. And then Trump was elected here, right here on the 5th. And then boom, price shot up. So this is a great indicator here for you guys to be paying attention to as well. Okay. A lot of data to be taking in, but like I said, if you want to succeed in crypto, you got to work. You got to be compounding all these different aspects and then making sure that you are managing risk moving forward. Okay. We're going to go ahead next and talk to Alex. He's got something he wants to show us real quick. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. You're going to start seeing shit like this. This is absolute bullcrap. XRP price to hit $1,000. Now, one, they go, if Donald Trump cares XRP reserve, I don't know why anyone in their right mind would ever do that. But a $1,000 XRP price is about a $60 trillion market cap for XRP. So immediately, this is bullshit. And so you're going to start seeing all of these articles come out. Oh, this was by Meta's AI or traders say, or it's fucking bullshit. You got to double check everything. Don't get sort of cooped up in the hopium and the craziness of everything. Because we've entered the mania stage. The mania is creeping in, but it hasn't gone full balls to the wall. But you're going to be seeing more of this shit. It's going, new token launched. You guys got to get in. There's going to be an XRP ETF, and that's kind of bad enough. It's kind of technology that does fuck all, really. It's pretty fucking useless, aside from the fact that it might be tax-free because it was made in America. And that's really all it's got going for it. I was looking, it's been going pretty well recently after it got out of all of its legal troubles, but I was looking at like a top of like $4.50, and it's like $3 now. So we're looking at like a 50% increase. And so for me, I go, well, my odds are better in Solana, so I'll just stay there. But then you see an article that goes $1,000, and you're going to see this on everything. You're going to be like, oh, Solana to $10,000. And it's just relax, keep your emotions chill. it's not like, relax. You're going to have a lot of people, you know, the normie conformies coming in who've never done anything to do with crypto before. And they're going to see something like this and go, of course it can go to $1,000. Why wouldn't it go to $1,000? Just check, you know, the ROI calculator, the market cap calculator. It's fucking just stop one, really. You can just go on CoinGecko or something like this and you can just see what the market cap is. And it should be obvious immediately, but just like temper your expectations. Know that we're going to see more outlandish, crazy shit this year. And you'll be fine. Just stay chill. Keep it chill.
I pulled this up because anytime you hear an outlandish price prediction, you just go to comparemarketcap.com. Comparemarketcap.com. That's what we did right here. And like Alex just said, for it to go to 1,000, it's not even here on the chart. 260 times 4 is approximately 1,000. So 15 times 4 is 60 trillion. So you would need to have a 60. Is there anything worth $60 trillion, any asset class right now? Like,
well, all the assets in the world together is about 454 trillion, apparently. So,
oh, never mind. Yeah, it's definitely going to go to 1,000. So you guys have to understand, man, the majority of crypto is literally fake and gay. You cannot believe this stuff. They are out to make your money their money. They're not your friends. They're not your allies. You need to look at data and data alone. Okay, there's another channel. I'm going to talk about something real quick because this guy, I personally love to hate this guy. He looks like he's smart, but he's actually quite an idiot. I just see all his videos. This guy is just a clickbait normie. I watch his stuff and I debunk it all the time at home. His name is Virtual Bacon, and this guy here, he thinks Ethereum is going to go to $14,000 by the end of 2021. So again, if you say, okay, he says that we are going to go to $14,000. So I'm going to go to compare market cap right now, and then I'm going to type here ETH for Ethereum. Okay. And then I'm going to scroll down and see is 14,000. Where's 14,000? It's between 8,000 and 16,000. So he is assuming that Ethereum is going to go above $1 trillion by the end of 2025. That is a tall order for a terrible project with a terrible leader that's having all sorts of infighting right now. People are leaving. People are quitting. Vitalik is an absolute weirdo. You guys don't know Vitalik Buterin. I've met him in real life. This guy is like, he is a very creepy guy, guys. Take my word for it. But you're telling me that that Ethereum is going to go above $1 trillion. That is just not going to happen whatsoever. Ethereum is currently right now, okay, it's currently at $390 billion. So this is going to have to 4x from where it is right now. And I'm just looking at this is just atrocious performance. Atrocious performance. Okay, that's not what you want to see when you're putting your money into something. Looking here at Solana, clicking back at all, this is what you want to see during a bull run. You want to see this thing pushing up, cranking up, pushing, consistently. And we're not having that with Ethereum at all. Ethereum, like I said, the title says Ethereum to zero. It's not going to zero, but it's like there has to be a lot of money flowing into it. And people like Adham are in Panama, where they don't necessarily use the US dollar to the degree that Americans use it. And when you have to pay, $18 to send $120, you're paying 1/5 of your whole bag. And it's just crazy.
We do use the US dollar to the degree that you guys use it. Thank you very much. We just don't have the amount that you guys have.
When I say the degree that we use it, I mean like rent in Panama is not like $2,500.
Oh, no, yeah. Like that's average salary here is like minimum wage here is like $600.
Right. So, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, I know you guys use the dollar, but I'm saying like the degree, like, you're not paying, $80 to fill your car with gas in Panama.
No.
Right. It's way cheaper down there just by using the US dollar. But so would a person in Panama or a person in, Paraguay or Brazil or Colombia or whatever, if they have to send $100 and you have to pay $18 out of that, that's like, even for me, that's insane. That's insane. It's crazy. Okay. And it's not good at all. And it's just total mess, man. It is a total mess. And as a business, Vitalik is a weirdo. Long story short, that guy's a freak, man. And he's a weird guy. And you don't want that kind of weird, kind of esoteric person like leading your foundation. You want somebody, a strong, competent leader who knows what the people want. People want fast transaction speeds. They want low to no gas prices, and they want price action moving consistently up during one of the most biggest bull markets of our lifetime. That being said, Ethereum is not producing that at all across the board. So what are we doing here? Like, I can't sit here in good faith and recommend Ethereum. When people book crypto consults with me, if you want to book a crypto consult, the link's in the description box below. But I'm telling you now when the market's down, this is the time to book. Don't wait till the market's up. Do not wait until, Solana's at 300, 400, and like you're running after trying to play catch up. You don't have time. We are out of time. Like the bull market ends this year. There is no super cycle. Don't believe this crap. Don't believe all these narratives. As you can see, like Alex was just saying, the mania is kicking in. The lies are starting to flow like wine, and you do not want to get caught up out here in these scammers taking your money. Solana on the other side, the upside is looking towards 1,000, and $1,000 really is on the table. Okay. So that being said, I want to say that, moving forward, Ethereum is just it's not looking like a good bet. And anybody who is advising you to buy Ethereum, I'm not going to say who, but I mean, it's Charlie from Call for Crypto and fucking Miguel. Like they're out here telling you guys to buy Ethereum, putting out these price predictions like 21,000, 14,000. Like, how much drugs are you using? And are you high? Because it is mathematically impossible. And it takes you literally 30 seconds of research to be like, wait a minute, comparemarketcap.com. Let me type in Ethereum. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, that's not going to become $1 trillion asset. Oh, wait, XRP, definitely not going to become a $60 trillion asset. There are lies and lies and lies everywhere, guys. You have to be smart, or you will be like everybody else. You will be a person who comes into crypto and loses their money. Your statistical default right now, if you're involved in cryptocurrency, is losing money. That is your statistical default. You don't want that to be you. That being said, we're going to pop right into the BTC and miner discussion now. Elias is on the ground building mining facilities around the world. He has the actual mining information for us and some updates regarding Bitcoin as well. So Elias, all the way live from Germany, thank you so much for being with us today.
Okay. Yeah, so basically I wanted to go over one thing real quick, which would be, why is it even important? The whole mining stuff. One quick question. Can you see my screen well?
Yep, you're full screen now. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, perfect. So basically at the rate that Bitcoin is mined, this adds up to about, at current prices, to about 40 to 50 or 60 million per day. So it's not a lot, but it's compared to the ETFs. You could compare it to Bitwise in case to the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF, in case you've seen the advertisement for Bitwise with the older gentleman and the quick jokes. So it doesn't have a direct big effect on the whole price action anymore, since the bigger ETFs from BlackRock and the others have made or have increased in inflows so much. So this is basically, it's getting less and less important by the day. It will get more important again as soon as the ETFs might get traded less after the bull market ends, or after we've seen an all-time high and are going into the bear market end of the year probably. So it's always in the background. It's adding positive or negative pressure to the price. but currently it's not that much of a gigantic influence on the price. But still, basically for miners, we've seen increasing competition since October. So difficulty has gone up. They are hurting, or should be hurting, pretty bad right now. And you can also see this if we switch to the hash rate instead of the difficulty. This is how much mining hash rate they are actually putting out there. So basically the production of calculations worldwide. And since October, we've been going up, and we had a peak about January 6th. And since then, we've dipped down a bit. And this is usually a sign of some Bitcoin mining facilities not making it anymore or getting weaker, losing money, switching off machines. And if we switch to the Bitcoin price real quick, we can see the same pattern playing off here. Around December, we started going down again, partly in Bitcoin price, and this is the lagging effect of it we see right now. In general, the production price for Bitcoin with mining, the international average is at about 85K right now. So the orange line you can see here. As long as we stay above this orange line, there should be virtually no selling pressure from Bitcoin miners, which is good for the price. And also some bigger miners like Mara in the US are currently getting more money in, more investments in from VCs and using it to buy additional Bitcoin, just prop up their reserve. This is generally really good during the bull market, but we might see a big effect of this as soon as we hit the all-time high, because for the bigger miners, they do have a really cash-intensive business. So their biggest concern after a bull market is, how do we get money to build up our infrastructure and scale our operations? So what I think might happen is that they are accumulating a lot of Bitcoin right now, and they are doing it a bit like MicroStrategy. So they are getting VC money, they're buying Bitcoin with it, and then they're using their Bitcoin as collateral to get even more money in and buy more Bitcoin with it. So what I think might happen is that if they are in the green with all their loans and with the Bitcoin they bought, they might just slowly but surely dump it as soon as they think we get to an all-time high. And this is what a lot of miners are doing during the bull market. So if we see Mara and other bigger miners getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over the next months, and I'll track this. In case we see this, we might have to be careful for the all-time highs in regards to how much we'll dump. Apart from this, I just wanted to show the Fibonacci levels real quick. This is basically just the Fib levels, the easy ones showing here. And I'm usually more pessimistic in the group regarding price predictions for the all-time high. But what I wanted to show here might be interesting and what you can also look at home. Because Fib levels are available in TradingView, and there's a lot of easy YouTube tutorials showing you how to use it. But what is really interesting is basically that we have we had our own price predictions based on the trend continuation patterns, and these pretty much match really well with the Fib levels. So based on this and based on the past bull markets, where we can go back here, and we always see that around the all-time high, we are hitting some Fib levels. And this is the same and goes back till 2017 and everything. And of course, it's not exact. But what I want to say is based on the FIB levels and where we are right now, I think a pessimistic target, not taking into account the ETF inflows and everything, would be at around 130K to 170K. If we actually get a double top, which I think is really unlikely right now because we would have to pump up real fast. But around 170K is my personal pessimistic target for the all-time high of this Bitcoin bull run. And this would be starting in September, but around mid-October. And this is just my prediction. And this is what we are using right now as pessimistic targets to do our business decisions or base our business decisions on as miners. And that's all from me.
Looking good, man. Next we have Steve, Stock Market Steve. Steve is actually working for a TradFi company. He actually works for a research firm who is looking in-depthly with a large. How many people are on the research team, Steve?
If you're just considering the main team, about 11. If you're considering all interns, north of 28.
Right. And then, so you have a large team here, professionals from spanning across the world that are all collectively researching into the year 2025. And you have an analysis for us regarding that. Also, next week, we have the FOMC meeting on the 28th and 29th. And we need some rate cuts. So, Steve, go ahead and take it away.
I would say for next week's meeting, I would expect them to hold rates. Reason being, most recent inflation readings came in hot for the winter due to elevated gas prices. However, if you look at inflation in the longer big term, and if you control for the massive increase in natural gas prices in the winter period, you would actually see that inflation was trending towards where we want it to go. And this would give me confidence for the rate cuts into 2025, but they're not going to come too soon. I would expect maybe March to be the first one. Various Fed chairs have given very mixed opinions. As opposed to being all hawkish as they were back in December, recently the Fed's Goolsbee as well as the Fed's Waller have also both seen rate cuts of maybe 3 or 4 for the 2025 period to prevent a slowdown in new job creation. And as the winter bump in inflation goes away due to, once again, falling natural gas prices. And other important things to look at, the Eurozone is expecting rate cuts as well. The European Central Bank is expecting maybe 3 to 4 rate cuts this year as Europe tries to stave off deflation. So that will also be a further boon to crypto. And then another thing that I would also like to cite is that maybe 2 weeks ago, there was a bit of a scare in the bond market, which shot up the 10-year yield. You never want to see the 10-year yield rising really quickly. That's usually a sign of a great deal of fear in the market. However, since that former sort of maybe 3-month peak that we saw in the 10-year yield, it's once again climbing back down, showing that the market's calming down from its formerly very fearful position. The other thing that's important to follow, James covers this a lot, is that we're likely nearing the end of the Fed tightening part of the liquidity cycle. Of course, there's the expanding of the balance sheet and there's the contracting of the balance sheet. Even up until today, we have been in the contracting of the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. However, if you look at the cyclical history, generally speaking, most economists and most watchers of this expect it to restart in 2025. Many other crypto YouTubers have covered this. This will, of course, be a boon to risk on assets as well as even traditional assets as well, because the Federal Reserve will once again be printing money to buy back bonds from Uncle Sam, as well as other assets that it likes to put on its balance sheet. Hopefully, potentially one of them in the future will be Bitcoin. This is what people are talking about when they say having a Bitcoin reserve is putting Bitcoin on that balance sheet. Aside from this, other reasons why I'm personally bullish for 2025, albeit more tepidly so than 2024, is earnings. Corporate earnings have held up. Right now we're in a new earnings season as of this January, as they're all releasing the Q4 2024 earnings are now being released, and most of them are coming out great. I mean, to give the most recent one, Netflix saw a record number of subscribers, as well as a record number of subscribers added for any one quarter, just to give one example. Costco's been posting good earnings, as well as a litany of other companies, showing generally strength in the American economy. However, the downside of this is that if the jobs numbers, which also came out very strong in the most recent report, are to be believed, and if earnings continue in this way, the Federal Reserve might get overconfident in the American economy and scale back some of the rate cuts that it might have otherwise deemed necessary, further prolonging and creating a more choppy bull run. However, if the underlying American economy is strong, if all the fear indicators, such as the 10-year yield, are being corrected back down, and if some of them are still holding out for rate cuts, this is why I'm generally hopeful for 2025, as well as Trump cutting taxes and regulation throughout the American economy. Aside from this, do I have any more? Yes, one more point of very important news, actually. Consumer credit and business credit, their default rate actually fell for the first time in the Q4 of 2024. See, one of the things that was concerning to me is that businesses were defaulting in higher and higher numbers throughout the summer and throughout the fall, as were credit card loans. However, these defaults have fallen for the first time, and business loan defaults have fallen for the first time, which is a very good sign, which is one of actually the leading indicators that we use at the firm that I work for. And then on top of that, with the falling defaults, bank regulations surrounding how stiff they will or won't be in cutting people loans, pretty much how strict they will be in terms of who they do or don't loan to, actually loosened up, especially in light of falling rate cuts, as well as the falling default rates. Banks have decided to loosen up the purse strings, which is, of course, very good for the American economy, as it allows easier access to credit. And it's also a vote of confidence from banks in that they trust that consumers and businesses aren't going to default and that the economy will remain strong, which means that their analysts are looking at everything. They have better information than I do or anybody else here, just because they're frankly the market insiders. If they're not afraid, I'm not going to be as afraid. Of course, they can still fuck it up like in 2008, but this is another nice indicator to see. Generally speaking, I am warm towards 2025. I'm just hoping that economic information doesn't come out so hot that they decide to completely ignore the idea of cutting rates.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Lou, Crypto Elite, I want to hear your take on things. You're a full-time trader. You're in the trenches. Where your head at? What you think? Sol versus Ethereum. Just give it to me straight.
Yeah. You guys could hear me good?
Yep. Coming in crystal clear.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So I think you were pretty much on point with Sol against ETH. I mean, I was literally thinking, just based off of history, that Ethereum should have bottomed out in January, because that's what it's done every cycle. And if you look at it, it's just like what you showed. It just looks absolutely horrendous against Bitcoin. And at the end of the day, you really just gotta use the charts. Like, you have to look at what the price action is telling you, because it doesn't matter what is happening if the price is not, doing what you expected to do. Why would you hold it? You're going to be losing money, So until I see some type of bullishness on the actual chart, then I won't want to enter it. Like, there's very little times where I think in crypto, oh, this fundamentally is really good, so I want to get into it, despite the fact that the chart is not good at all. I mostly want to go off of the charts, except unless it's a very rare circumstance. And so, yeah, in terms of Solana versus Ethereum, you could literally just look up Sol ETH and see how much better Solana has been going against Ethereum. And you could actually, I'll just do it right now, show you. So you could actually do that and and get in at really good prices. So this is what I did. This is actually what I did. I drew this out when I think it was up here. So this is Solana against Ethereum. Obviously, Solana's just been outperforming Ethereum since 2023. So that's like for years straight, right? And once it busted out of this ascending triangle over here, that sort of like confirmed like, okay, like there's nothing over here to the left. So there's not going to be any selling pressure against Ethereum, at least. And you sort of just want to get in at like the retail. It was the super basic TA that you could use a lot of the times to figure this stuff out. And so yeah, that's my thought on Solana. Like, the trend is your friend. Go with the trend. And I think in terms of Bitcoin, so for the bigger picture Bitcoin, we have if you look at where the market cycle typically tops, it's typically around Q4 of the 4th year and the 4-year cycles, right? This is a chart that gives me the big macro picture of things. And right here is where it's supposed to be technically, or whatever you want to call it, historically topping out somewhere around September of 2020. Right here, September of 2025. Around the 4th should be where the 4th cycle high is. Maybe it's November, like last cycle. But regardless, if you're just looking at the 4-year cycles, like how they should be, we still have almost an entire year of potential really good upside, right? So and everyone knows that the biggest gains always happen at the end of the year. So when I put those together, I want to stay in the market, because despite the fact that if you see there is this line, and this was the top to the top to the top, and we did hit it. So I don't know if I'm really expecting any huge moves up, because I do think that this line is going to get respected. But I mean, if we bust above here, that would be pretty crazy. But I mean, even if this was just, if it was just this line, it would put us around like 117 to 120. But something tells me that we're gonna like have a move that ends up going, like that before coming back down. But at this point, technically, this is what I see. But let me go back to this. I think that if the United States of America actually creates a Bitcoin strategic reserve, which it says that it's going to do, like it's pretty confident, that that's happening, right? What will that entail? Well, from what I could tell, from what I've heard, it would mean that the United States would be buying Bitcoin on a regular basis, like on a monthly basis, just continually buying and buying and buying Bitcoin, right? So when you think of it like that, wouldn't that automatically just make it so that Bitcoin will go up and to the right? Like essentially, like, yeah, there's going to be huge sellers, but like overall, the bigger picture would be like Bitcoin is essentially a free money grab, and like it still is. And if the United States of America, like Bitcoin and crypto is worth nothing compared to what the United States of America is worth. And if they just start buying and buying and buying Bitcoin, then that's the most obvious thing I could ever think of. So I'm still like extremely bullish on Bitcoin. And then when it comes to alts, I'm not as bullish. I don't think there's the possibility of what people saw in 2021 or 2018, where every single alt went up.
Certainly not.
You touched on this before a couple shows ago, or maybe last show.
Last show. No, you're right. 1,000% right.
At this point, there's way too many coins. It's way too diluted. And not everything is going to go up at the same time. And even if everything does end up going up at the same time, they're not going to go up 1,000%. Maybe they'll go up 1, 2, maybe 300%. but for the vast majority. But if you aren't understanding crypto and you're not getting into these coins super early, or you're not understanding the narratives or the meta and choosing wisely, then it's going to be really difficult to make, you know, a 50x or something that you see a lot posted on, you know, Twitter or YouTube or whatever, you know, these people that put these huge gains up. It's possible. It's definitely possible, but like, you have to do your research and you have to get in early, or you have to get in at really good prices. And that's going to require, you know, putting in time and or going with experts, like listening to actual experts, and not, you know, people that just are moon boys that say, oh, Ethereum is going to like 15,000 or XRP is going to 10,000 or something like that. Like because there's, yeah, like I said, there's too much dilution in the market, and you need to sort of like understand what is happening and make sure you lock in some profits. Like, the good news though, like I mentioned, is that we nearly have an entire year, and every cycle there is, the biggest gains always happen in a short period of time at the end of the cycle. So if like, there's a possibility that the biggest AI play isn't even out yet. There's a possibility that the biggest meme coin, like the biggest gains, although Trump at this point, Trump is probably it. But and you know, it's fucking crazy about Trump. I actually bought it like right when it came out, and then immediately sold it for like a 2x because I thought it was a scam when I saw that 80% of the supply was bundled. So that was a mistake. But regardless. And yeah, and then you were right. He should have just stuck with Trump. They shouldn't have like also had Melinda and these other coins come up. Like, if it was just Trump, like that would have been fine. But like, then all of these other, you know, coins of his whole entire family came out. I didn't like that. But oh yeah, one thing about that I think is also sort of important is that it sort of showed how fickle or how low liquid the entire market is as a whole. Because of the fact that like one coin came out and then everything got all the liquidity sucked out of it and dumped into Trump coin, like immediately. It's like the entire market within a few minutes to an hour was just like a vacuum, like a black hole, grew straight into Trump. So so I don't know, the way that I'm thinking about it is like, what are either the coins that have really good potential based around like crypto, like people in crypto and understanding of crypto, that could do really well, or for the more normie stance, like what are the coins that the US would be potentially interested in? So obviously Bitcoin, and then American made coins and things like that. So it's like, you know, even though I was never like a huge fan of XRP, I do gotta give it to them for the fact of like, it's outperformed Bitcoin over the last 6 years now. Over the last 2 months, it retraced and it regained its value against Bitcoin. So if you bought it anytime in the last 5 years, you'd be up against Bitcoin, which is insane to me. So, you know, at the end of the day, you got to like look at the charts and you got to look at the numbers and like use objective data. So it's like, I see something like that and I'm like, okay, so there's that. There's other ones like HBAR, which I know are partnering up with a lot of American companies. And you posted in the chat earlier, Doge is potentially getting an ETF, or Bitwise, you know, filed for a Dogecoin ETF. So I'm looking at a lot of these type of things and just thinking that getting into them at pretty key levels is good. And then the last thing that I'm looking at, which is more for the longer term and potential big gains for me, even though Solana is the network right now, I do still think that there's massive opportunity with base chain, with Brian Armstrong and Coinbase working with the U.S. government, working with Trump. They've already met multiple times, and you know, I do think that there is going to be a lot of plays on there. But once again, you sort of have to understand like the different aspects of crypto in order to pick and choose the right coins on the base chain. But yeah, that is something that I'm looking at, and I'm trying to figure out what's the next narrative, what's the next thing, what's the thing that I could get into early now that will pop off in a few weeks, a few months, you know, stuff like that.
Good stuff. Yeah. You know, I mean, I think that's a good analysis, just looking at what we have here with the situation with Ethereum. Like if you know, all of us here on the panel, we can read the tea leaves. We could see like, okay, like this is clearly a bad bet. But when you're in a group, you know, when you're like a group chat full of imbeciles, like the guys in the crypto mindset group who are talking about me right now. Shout out to those guys right now. I got an update from my spy. Shout out to Michael Campagnoli II says MLD is back, saying ETH to 0. No, I didn't say that, you idiot. But you believe in hex, so I understand how fucking dumb you are. I said it's obviously not going to go to 0, but it's not going to be doing anything near the levels of height and X's that we're looking for with Solana. Shout out to Luis as well with your anonymous icon. That's very adorable. And a big shout out to Angelo, who I supported when you had brain cancer and you turned on me. Nothing like a big glass of loyalty to wash down with your daily dose of YouTube. But I do got some hot news here that just hit the market right now. HODL15CAPITAL just reported in that BlackRock has $344 million of inflows today. So again, follow the trend. The trend is your friend. And if you're following BlackRock, like Lewis said, the trend is your friend. Follow BlackRock, see what they're doing, see what they're up to. Follow the big money because they're smarter than all the idiots on the internet talking like they know something. I think that's just a great point that you made there. Brian Armstrong was actually just spoken to by I think he was on some financial news channel the other day. And he was talking about how just like Bitcoin truly is the future and it's a far more reliable source of value than gold, which it is. And then like, look, I mean, the COPE is just through the roof. Look at this. This is said by Justin Sun, also another known scammer. This is what he says. Here's his plan to save Ethereum, to push it to $10,000. Justin Sun says, proposing a halt on ETH sales for 3 years. Okay, sounds great. All right, we're off to a good start there. Heavy taxes on layer 2 projects, even better, and increased fee burns to ensure deflationary growth. This is just like unbelievably fucking retard alert.
Retard alert.
That is dumber than the whole Hex community combined, and that's a lot of fucking stupid. All right, halting sales for 3 years. Imagine buying an asset and be like, yeah, we're just gonna have a 3-year lockup period for you. 3 years, you can't sell, but trust me, we're gonna go to the moon. What are the people
gonna do? Maybe that they put that on the Ethereum Foundation only. That would be great.
Well, yeah, I know, right? They're selling like a motherfucker. Adam, let's wrap it up with you, and then I have some good news here to wind down the show. Adam, you are a blockchain developer, software programmer, and probably the go-to guy when it comes to having any kind of technical problem solved with cryptocurrency. What are your take on this whole Solana versus Ethereum debate, and what is your perspective on 2025 regarding Solana and Ethereum, my friend?
So I'll start off my analysis, I guess, speaking specifically tech side. Solana is superior in every sense. It is to be expected because Solana came after Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken, was launched in like 2015, 2014, something like that. And Solana came out just starting off 2020. So already it has 5 years of technology improvement upon Ethereum. And it also, it's not only better technology, it also had 5 years to learn what the mistakes and what the shortcomings of Ethereum were. So there's this concept, most blockchain developers are aware, and some crypto people are also aware of it. It's called the blockchain trilemma. So essentially, every blockchain aims to have three characteristics, which is scalability, security, and decentralization. The problem is that you cannot have all three. So you can be scalable and you can be decentralized, but you're not going to be that secure. You can also be scalable and secure, but you're not going to be that decentralized. In the case of Solana, it made a bet different from Ethereum. Ethereum, if you gave two of those characteristics to it, it would be decentralized and it would be secure, but it's not scalable. Solana made a different bet. Solana went with the secure and the scalable characteristics by compromising some of its decentralization. It is no secret that Solana, especially starting off, was fairly centralized. There weren't, and I think there still aren't that many validators to consider it that decentralized. Its Nakamoto coefficient is something like 15. For those who don't know, Nakamoto coefficient is basically a magic number that people came up with to measure the level of decentralization a blockchain has. So yeah, Solana is not decentralized, but it's scalable. What does that result in? It's really fucking fast and it's really fucking cheap, especially when put in contrast with Ethereum. Ethereum transaction times are on average 10 seconds, while the Solana transaction times can be less than a second. Ethereum has a theoretical, I think it's 100 transactions per second currently, or I think it was either 100 or 1,000 transactions per second, where now with Fire Dancer coming live, Solana is going to be able to have a theoretical 1 million transactions per second. To put that into perspective, that's enough transactions per second to be able to handle something like the NASDAQ. Like you could grab the entire New York exchange and run it on Solana at that point, and it would not have an issue because it would be able to handle that amount of transactions simultaneously. Also, a bit more on the tech side, Solana was built with Rust in mind. Rust is a development language that is fairly new. Not that new, but it's fairly new. It's a systems level language, so it allows you to manipulate memory to the level that something like C++ would, except that for the developer's sake, it tells you when you're messing up with memory management. So if you want an application, when you're a developer and you want an application to be fast, you usually go with a systems language like C or C++. The problem is that those languages are really old and they are not beginner friendly, so it's really easy to shoot yourself in the foot. Rust gives you that level of control over memory to get that efficiency, but it also holds your hand enough to tell you when you're messing up. So that allows Solana to be way more efficient and for developers on Solana to make way faster applications without having to go through such a steep learning curve. Additionally, Rust is a programming language that supports parallelism, which means that it can handle multiple transactions occurring at the same time. This isn't the case in Ethereum. Ethereum, the main language that runs on it is a custom-made language called Solidity. And so every transaction in Ethereum occurs chronologically. So if I'm making a trade and Jonathan's making a trade, Ethereum is going to choose which one goes first and which one comes later, but one has to come first. So if we were both buying the same coin, for example, and it determines that Jonathan's transaction came up first, then whatever price I get, it's going to be higher because it's going to factor in the fact that Jonathan just bought the coin. In Solana, it wouldn't be the case. It can theoretically handle both of our transactions at the same time. So if we both want to buy some RAD Bitcoin at a specific price point, then we can both technically get that specific price. It wouldn't consider his transaction first or my transaction first. Now, for the verdict, I guess, would Solana be the end of Ethereum? No. Ethereum is going to stick around, even if it's old, even if it's outdated, even if there's way shinier and better alternatives out there nowadays. I would put it down to two reasons, mainly. One is the network effect, and this encompasses a lot of aspects. First is that it's been around for a long time. Like, even though it's 2015, most people assume nowadays that Ethereum has always been around. That's how deep into the crypto lore it is. Second, it's always been considered the silver to Bitcoin's gold. So whenever you consider like, oh, what is the face of crypto, you will always think of Bitcoin, but most people will think that the second one in line is Ethereum. Third, a lot, if not most of the projects that exist in crypto nowadays had their start and most are still supporting Ethereum to a certain degree. So it's not like there has been a mass exodus to the point where there's no on-chain activity. Ethereum is still being used. The bulk of the people who left Ethereum were people who were just traders who found it easier and more convenient to go into new chains. Now, the second aspect of why Ethereum won't die would be the traditional aspect, the traditional finance aspect. So we got two main players here. The first one would be BlackRock. So BlackRock made an Ethereum ETF, and BlackRock owns the world, basically. They wouldn't be making an Ethereum ETF unless they were expecting to make a lot of money with it. And if that requires them pulling some strings to pump it up, even if artificially, they will. It's not the first asset that they would do that with. Everyone knows that silver is potentially one of the most suppressed and manipulated assets in history. And it wouldn't surprise me if BlackRock had to resort to something similar to make Ethereum pump if it doesn't pump on its own. And they have the money to do it. Like the market caps in crypto are ridiculously small compared to what traditional finance is used to. They're playing in the trillions, and we're barely in billions. So that's point A. Point B would be Trump. So Trump is now just gotten into office, and his fund, the World Liberty Finance Fund, whatever is it called, currently holds about $47 million in Ethereum. It actually bought a couple of those million just as Trump got into sworn in as a celebratory measure. So you gotta tell me that the president of the United States, the first pro-crypto president, is gonna have a coin, and that coin is gonna die. Like, whatever he has in his wallet is gonna survive just for the sake of people seeing that he owns it, even if it's pure speculation. Like leading up to his inauguration, a lot of meme coin projects were sending him a certain amount of that meme coin, so just so that people who were seeing at his wallet would notice that that meme coin was being held by him, even if not really, but that would catch their eye. And I think that same effect will happen with Ethereum, whereas everyone will just, the day-to-day people will just see that, oh, the president of the United States has Ethereum, so Ethereum is probably going to stick around. And that would become a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. So yeah, Ethereum, by all means, technically speaking, is outdated and it's inferior to Solana, like in every sense. If you want to get it really deep into the tech, there's nothing Ethereum beats in Solana with, except just narratively, it's been around for a long time. But that's not enough to kill it, because it's been around for a long time. So when we say that Ethereum's dead or Ethereum's not worth it, it's not that it's not going to pump. It's just that there's way better alternatives if you're in it for the money, which, let's be honest, everyone is here for the money. So unless you have a specific use case or you want to buy a specific meme coin on Ethereum, I wouldn't recommend buying it when you have the chance to get into something like Solana and profit way more by just holding that layer one coin.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's great. It's great to hear from a developer's point of view as well. you know, and again, like just going back to, you know,
Can I add just one thing? Not
yeah, go ahead.
For the developer's point of view, Solana is way more developer friendly. Like, I know it's already people already know that it's more user friendly. Something like the Phantom wallet, which is Solana main wallet, it's way more intuitive to use for the user. But for the developer, the Solana documentation is really good. Like, it's really concise. It's really straight to the point. The libraries that you can use to develop in Solana require you to code way less than the libraries in Ethereum. So most libraries in Ethereum will require you to code stuff from basically zero with the building blocks that they give you. The Solana libraries have like half the application built in for you, and you just have to like change a couple of things. So yeah, even for the developers trying to decide where to launch their application, Solana is really inviting, and they have great tutorials in the YouTube channel and even in the Solana Foundation website. The documentation is really good, and it's really easy to catch up on, even if you've never coded in Rust before.
Good stuff. A very simple way to look at everything right now, moving into the last segment here of our channel, is if your dedicated coin is being outperformed by fart coin, you might have to rethink your investment strategy. Okay, if you could buy fart coin, which outperformed Ethereum over the last 5 years, yeah, it's
shut up and take my money.
It's wild. Chase Hadley says, I found it very odd that one week after week, no one on this panel talks about SUI. We're just not touched on. We're aware of SUI. We just really haven't deep dived into it. And like the thing is, we're all humans. We all have limited bandwidth of our mental capacities. We have been thinking behind the scenes that SUI. We have said it on the show before as well. You missed it, so not week after week. You missed out on that. Sorry, buddy. But I'll catch you up here right now. We were actually saying that Solana of 2021, that could be SUI right now, because SUI does have a good chart. And SUI has been trying their damnedest to become relevant in the game. And looking at their price action, you know, they started in 23, right? Like, yeah, May 23. Yeah, and they're kind of doing garbage for a while. And then, but like, again, you know, just look at this price action, bro. Like going back to 21 or 20, or excuse me, last year, 24, like, yeah, we were floating around $2, and then you just die for the while, and then, you know, you finally come back to life here. I mean, great piece of information here in regards to price action, but like, we're doing research from this point on to make our picks. You know, making your picks this late into the bull market is a risk. You know what I mean? And we were looking at SUI, and we were looking at Fartcoin, and we went with Fartcoin. So again, CC 699. Hey, MLD, can you share insights on the SUI blockchain future integration with the Phantom wallet? Most bullish on Sol, but looking, I mean, they're going to be coming into, they're adding SUI to Phantom soon. Phantom actually had a security update recently that kind of caused a lot of people problems. So make sure you have backups on your Phantom wallets. If you don't have a backup, you're cooked. You're mega cooked. Real quick. So now moving into the 2025, you know, Trump is president, and things are already looking good. If you look at the U.S. debt clock, have you guys seen this thing? So this is the U.S. debt clock, and they've actually added a Doge thing now. And Doge is actually showing how much money they're saving in real time. So already saving $9 billion, nothing compared to this tremendous deficit that we have, that we are just bleeding our money out, debasing our currency, and, you know, heading into financial ruin like the Weimar Republic. But, you know, I won't go into the history lesson, but there's a certain group of people that's involved in that. I'm not going to say it. Kanye West knows what the kind of doctor it was. Anyways, but if you look at the secret window here, it says American super cycle, a golden age wonder. So things are looking optimistic, and, you know, it's in your best interest to be optimistic and believe in yourself and push forward no matter what you're doing, because it's you versus the world. And you could sit there and blame everybody, but at the end of the day, if you have a great life, it's your fault. If you have a bad life, it's your fault. So get to work, especially if you're a man, right? Nobody's going to come save you. So that is good news right there. And more importantly, I'll end with this. Take a look at this. This is the World Economic Forum. They said this the other day, and I think it's pretty bullish.
has ever done before. Trump has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen. Somebody who if we were 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, dead politically, known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
We need to also factor in not only who's won, which is Trump, but who's lost, which is to say us. And I guess I would throw into that the epitome of the us who is losing here is Europe. That the European Union and by and large its member states have misread the direction where events were going. The causes that it is interested in, climate, human rights, some others, as well as the methods of diplomacy that it prefers, are simply being gradually kind of marginalized as something new, not necessarily something better, but something new moves into the center.
Trump, the big W, guys. The man is getting to work and things are looking good. The markets have reacted positively to his presidency. So that being said, I just don't think that we have anything to work out other than paying attention to the strength of the market, paying attention to the ETF inflows, paying attention to Bitcoin, and making sure you're choosing smart assets. If you're ETH, I'll tell you what, bro, even the guys in the chat, guys, here's some dating advice for you. Find a woman like these guys love Ethereum. Find a woman that fucking loves you like these guys love Ethereum, and you'll have a great life, because it just to see the amount of cope is just something else. Because I mean, it is undeniably a fact that Ethereum has underperformed. Yep. It has massively underperformed. And I got to say, we're going to be being here. Keep an eye on the channel. The Crypto Minute will be launching probably next time we get some big news. It'll be popping on here and doing the updates. But that being said, we'll catch you guys next week. Thank you guys all for being here. And Alex, you want to show some more thing? I think you just saw something real quick.
Just last quick thing. I saw a bit earlier today. Bitcoin in the first 5 years or 5.5 years of the gold ETF, Bitcoin has already put in more than that combined in its first year. So we could probably expect, even more this year. So that's kind of nuts. Just to put into perspective how much of a big deal, how much money is just flying in to Bitcoin ETFs at the moment. It's pretty astounding. So good stuff on the horizon. Also, just quickly on Lewis's point, Bitcoin making a strategic reserve. If US does it, then everyone else probably will have to do it too. It's like if I get a nuke, everyone has to get a nuke. So if US starts using it, then everyone's going to have to start using it. Even if they don't want to, they're just going to have to, just in case, we better get some. So that's why we could push far above that 120,000 sort of line, the power line that we saw on the chart earlier. So yeah, life's good.
Looking good. Until then, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.